What's up, everybody? My name is Jay Wise, and welcome back to another video on Forza Horizon 5. In the last video, we did a little drift budget challenge. In this video, we're going to be comparing the in-game versions of what is best known as the best beginner drift cars in real life. I want to see if they're any good in this game compared to their real-life alternatives. The first one we're going to be starting with is the good old E46 M3. Now, if you want to know where I'm getting this list from, it's from a website called drifted.com. The 7 best drift cars for beginners. Now, this is the first one on the list, and let's see how it does. I'm going to do full modifications. There's no budget limit or nothing. I'm just going to see if it's any good in this game as a drift car, should you decide to go crazy on it. Alright, with all the full-blown modifications, we got 1,200 horsepower, and it's an S2 class car. It weighs just over 3,000 pounds. Every car that we'll be testing today will all be nothing short from iconic. They're all very well known for being drift cars, and they're very popular in the real world. I mean, there's some of these I still see on the road today. I actually don't expect this to do half bad, since it is an M3 with 1,200 horsepower. But, of course, we're going to go to the usual drift zone that I always do, because I'm familiar with it. I want to get the best score. And whoever's the winner, we'll find out at the end. It's one hell of a launch right there, just still going. And off we go with the start of this one. Alright, okay, it's actually a little crazy. It's a little crazy to say the least. It's not too bad in terms of handling, but I gotta get a handle on it, if that makes sense. Alright, our first attempt, we get 190,000, which by my standards, for any first attempt, getting 190,000 or up, it's freaking insane. All my scores will be based on my first attempt. But for right now, the M3 is leading. Considering it's the first car, that's not surprising. The next one we'll be working on is the, of course, legendary 350Z. It's I don't know if I said this before. One of the reasons I just can't say anything because they're everywhere. They're so popular that they're everywhere. They're still driving around today. Like I've been to so many different junkyards, and not once have I seen one of these in a junkyard. Alright, it's got the same amount of horsepower as the last car, and it weighs less than the last one. So it's probably gonna have more of a kick when going around those corners. Okay, I hate to say it, just because I'm not a fan of these cars, but I really, really like the way this looks. If I had to get one that's exactly how I'd make it look. It looks so badass. Yep, okay, that's my fault. I was distracted by the paint job. And here we go. Let's see how this... Wow. Okay, Okay. It seems to be more or less easier to control than the freaking M3 was, which is insane to me. Because it is smaller, it's lighter, it's got the same amount of horsepower, that's the only difference. Okay, I hate to say it, but I really like this thing. Oh, damn, I actually was rooting for this car for a second there. Alright, I hate 181,000. I think that's what it said. So, unfortunately, this doesn't take the lead. The next car on this list is the R33 Skyline. There's actually 2 in here. I'm not sure which one I should use. I don't think it really... Well, this has much less horsepower. Why is that? Unless I modified this one. I mean, yeah, okay. I'm gonna mess with this one because it hasn't been touched. Yes. And yet another Nissan. I wonder how many are on this list. With all upgrades, it weighs even less than the 350Z. Has the same amount of horsepower per usual. It's like most of these cars have the same motor. You can swap into it. Okay, I don't know what it is about this generation Skyline, but I really, really like the way it looks. I don't know what it is. It just looks mean. I think it's the R32 that I didn't like. I'm not sure which one it was. Oh yeah, this is going to be drifty, alright. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And here we go, and... Okay, yep, that's it. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. Okay, it's not going well. It's just insane that you can hit the same powertrain, but that all cars seem to react so differently to it. Okay, 181,000. Identical score to the last car. Well, not identical. With some minor differences, but when rounded, yep, it's identical. The only reason I got such a low score on this car was because it lost control at the start of it. Alright, the next car we're trying is the Mazda Mx-5, otherwise known as the Miata. Alright, with all available upgrades. Oh, I'm terrified. This is definitely the lightest one of the bunch so far. It almost weighs, it's 280 pounds, just over 2,000 pounds. That's freaking insane. That's lighter than my freaking Ford Focus. It has the same exact powertrain. It has less lateral Gs. It's because the tires are super narrow. I actually fattened the rear tires. I didn't do that with the other cars. Who thought? Let me put 1,200 horsepower in a Miata from the 1990s. That's a scary thought. Alright, I had to choose this paint job because it may be a tiny little cute car, but it's definitely not tiny and cute underneath the hood. I did not think there was that many upgrade options for an old Miata like that. That's insane. Now, I'm not too concerned about the wheelbase though, because while it is a short wheelbase car, I've always had the best of luck with short wheelbase cars. So this is going to be fun for me. Yeah. Okay, it's a little bit harder to control than I thought it would be. But it's actually doing very, very well. I think it might actually surpass the E46. Okay, I was definitely wrong about that, but it did pass everybody else. It's got 185,000. So this car is now currently in second place on the list. The next car on this list is yet another Nissan. A Silvia, otherwise the 240SX S14. Starting to feel like this list is just biased towards friggin' Nissans. Alright, with all upgrades, we weigh more than a Miata. That's fine. I don't mind a little more weight. It has the same exact powertrain, so that's not going to be changed. The LRGs are back to where it was before. I promise you, I'm not intentionally choosing cars that all have the same best option for engine. For some reason, with all these drift builds, every time I see it, I just gotta find the biggest wing and just slap it on there. Which, by the way, I don't... this paint job, it's pretty. Okay, this one's definitely the best handling one so far. It barely went off the road compared to the other ones. 183,000 points. That makes it third on the list. Alright, next on this list is the E46 Bmw M3. It's probably one of the most well-known ones on this list, all because of one game. Need for Speed Most Wanted. I swear to God, I don't think any of these cars don't have this as the best option. Freaking same powertrain, weighs more. I think actually weighs more than the E36 BMW M3. I think it would be a crime against humanity if I did not use this paint job. Although I think those are the wrong rims. Hold on. Oh, right, that's better. I think those are the right rims. Okay, that one. Okay, I was about to say it's not a crazy burnout, but that's an absolutely insane burnout. Ooh, wow, this actually handles quite nicely. It's not all too crazy. It's not all over the place. I take that back, I take that back, I take that back. Okay. Oh my god, it just got better than the freaking E30. Of course it got better than E36. It's the E46. It's the next version of it. 191,000. Beat it by 1,000 points. Unfortunately, the next two cars in the list don't exist in this game, but the one that after them do, and that is this. The E46. Probably one of the most iconic drift cars of all time, if we're being honest here. And I've already got a drift tune on it. So I don't have to do anything. Yeah, I seriously couldn't go without putting this design on it. It's so freaking iconic. Oh yeah, I already know this thing's a slidey boy. I think I actually recall using it a whole lot. Oh yeah. It's a slidey boy, alright. It's so easy to get sideways, and it gets probably some of the best angle I've seen out of all of these cars so far. I don't know, I could be being a little biased here. It matched the score. It matched the same score as the E46, like I said. I'm probably going to do a tiebreaker at the end of this video. The next car on this list is, of course, the RX-7. I have like a gazillion of these because I was constantly gifted them. If it wasn't for the movie Tokyo Drift, I don't think this car would be as iconic as it is. I don't know why, but this freaking body kit just skyrockets my anxiety. Alright, this one's making about 200 horsepower less than the other cars. It weighs less than 3,000 pounds, gets the same lateral G's. Nothing too crazy except for the fact that it's only S1 class. It would be a crime if I did not use this paint job, although it does look kind of wonky. I might have selected the wrong one. That actually looks kind of bad. Just ignore that. Move along. I don't have crazy high expectations because of the less horsepower, but you never know. Less horsepower could be better. No, said no one ever. Okay, it's the most controllable of the bunch so far. It may be the... Okay, 181,000. It matched the 350Z and the R33 Skyline. So it's definitely not on top of the record right now. The next car on the list is yet another Mazda, the RX-8. I don't know if there's people out there who hate this car, but for some reason it's my favorite out of the Mazdas. I don't know why, I just love them. I have never been so disappointed. There was only one engine swap, and it was a rotary engine, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just... that particular engine doesn't produce that much horsepower. I don't have high expectations for this. Oh god, Dentist Drill has returned. I haven't heard this motor in a long time. Okay, that's really not off to a good start. Oh, come on, just do good. Oh, okay, it's not doing that bad. Well, obviously it's more controllable with that much less horsepower, but... oh no, I kind of expected worse. Alright, it exceeded my expectations and matched with the MX-5 and the 98 S14. 185,000 for this car. That's actually not bad. I thought it was going to be so much worse because the less amount of horsepower. I guess that goes to show, you don't need a crap load of horsepower to have a good drift car. Alright, the next car on our list is the Subaru Brz or the Toyota GT86. Now, because I've already done the AE46, I'm going to go ahead and do the BRZ. They all have the same build and same parts, if I recall, so there's nothing really that's different. That front end just makes it look like an RX-8. No, I'm not doing that. The one thing I'm going to say, though, I really missed the wide body kit they had in Forza Horizon 4. I wish that was still here. Alright, we're weighing at 2,600 pounds with the same horsepower as the other ones. It's got slightly thinner tires, which means less lateral Gs, which could be a good thing. Didn't realize how extensive this list was until I'm doing a BRZ. I hate how much this paint job actually looks good in this car. Okay. Okay, even with the same powertrain, it weighs less than some of their cars, but it's handling better than the other ones. It's like this one was more built for drifting. Oh my god, this one's winning. 194,000. I cannot believe a BRZ is winning. 194,000 freaking points. Are you serious? Unless this next one gets the same score, there's going to be no tiebreaker needed at the end of this video like I thought. The next one on this list is a Ford Mustang GT. Now, the only ones we do have in this game is the newer generations, not the ones they're pointing out. But regardless, they're about the same aside from suspension components. So I'm going to use it anyway. Alright, we weigh a little over 3,000 pounds. It's a usual big old American car, so it's not surprising. It's got more horsepower than the other ones, 13,000, less lateral Gs. And it's by far the cheapest of all the upgrades so far. You guys are going to hate me. I put a V12 in this. It had the best numbers, okay? I had to choose it. Alright, it's off to it. Okay, I was going to say a good start, but that's not a very good one. Yeah, okay, it's not doing as well as I had hoped it would. Given the fact that's a big American car with a big engine in it. Yeah, I got 191,000. That is like the most common score that we've seen today. Which is not a bad thing at all. In fact, that's way better than the last video I made with the budget ones. Alright, this was actually the last car on the list. And for the winner, though, the winner is the BRZ, of all things. Like, that's the last thing I expected to win. But the one car that exceeded my expectations, is it's significantly better than I thought it would have to be the RX-8. Jesus Christ, I was looking down for 1 second. The RX-8 got a score of 185,000. That score actually tied with the MX-5. It did better than the S14. It did better than the RX-7, the R33, and the 350Z. So it wasn't at the very bottom of the list on that case. But that's all the time I got for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please, for the love of God, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.